here's an exercise that I think would be helpful with finding where your arm should be when you're playing on certain strings. And I like to call that different planes of strings. So you have the G string plane, which is just the G string. As you see, my arm is up, my wrist is up, my elbow is up. I'm going down to the D, A, and E. Then if I want to do double strings or double stops, here is the G string, here is the D string, here's in between both. G string, D string, in between. So there are three. G, in between D, in between D and A, in between A and E, E. So my hand is actually going, my arm is actually finding 7 different planes, right? The easiest way for you to find where your right wrist and right elbow should be is by putting the bow down, taking your first finger out and your thumb, anchoring your thumb on this part of the fingerboard, just right there, and plucking the string. So, if I want to pluck the G string, I'm all the way over here. So, if now I take my bow and I want to play, I'm in the exact same spot that I was. The best way to find out is by using your pointer finger, anchoring your thumb, and then trying to pluck, making sure that your arm looks like this and is flat. Your wrist is flat and it's straight to your elbow. D, A, E. These are the exact same planes that you would be playing on with the bow. D, and G, G and D, D, D and A and E, E. And it's a very subtle difference, but the more that you practice doing this, slowly of course, the more comfortable you're going to be when you place your bow, right? We're looking for the exact same thing. Flat wrist, straight elbow, all the way straight to your elbow. So we have a flat wrist going straight to your elbow. Same thing when we grab the bow, play the G. Flat wrist going to the elbow. Gonna play the D string. Flat wrist to the elbow, it's slightly lower. Before it was here, now it's here. Same place when we place the bow on the D string. A string, flat wrist, all the way down to the elbow. Same place where we put the bow, right? Then we have the E string, slightly lowered, but still straight wrist, all the way to the bow. Same thing. Okay, that's how you're going to find your bow planes. You can try different exercises like down bow on the G string, up bow on the D, down on the A, up on the E, and you can go backwards, E, A, paying close attention to your elbow and that your wrist is flat. Every time you change directions, you're leading with your elbow. So I'm watching my elbow because I'm paying attention because I'm leading with my elbow. It's very simple. But you just have to pay attention to where you're going with the elbow. So there are 2 things that you're doing to make sure that your arm is in the right place. Well, 3 things that you're going to be paying attention to. First is making sure that when you pluck the strings, it's the same thing that you're paying attention to the whole time. Your wrist is flat, your elbow is leading. Your wrist is flat, your elbow is leading. Your wrist is flat, your elbow is leading. If I keep saying elbows leading as if we're going to move to another string, but then I keep lowering my finger so that it's not super helpful. So G string, flat wrist, elbow leading. D, flat wrist, elbow leading, A, flat wrist, elbow leading, E, flat wrist, elbow leading. Same thing. Flat wrist, elbow leading, flat wrist, elbow leading, flat wrist, elbow leading, flat wrist, elbow leading. So that's how you can determine where your arm should be when you're playing on different planes, different strings on the violin.